Top of the morning to everyone. Good morning, Tarsi. Good morning,
Good
Pete.
morning, Steve.
Good morning, Trey.
How are you?
Better than terrific. You?
Oh, same.
Morning, Randy.
Good morning. Good to be back, man. It's been, I feel like a couple months. Oh. I saw you on social. You spoke at Kyle's office, huh? San Diego?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah, we did a training on why to buy now. And yeah, it was good.
That's awesome.
I met him over the holidays and we talked about our business, his business. We shared ideas and things, and he really helped me with my EOS and how I operate my business. And I was like, what can I do to help you? And he said, why don't, and we did the regional meeting together, Pete and Kyle and I down in San Diego. So
That's right.
he was one of the speakers. And, you know, I love that. This is what I love about EXP. It's like, I call him up and my team, we had a list of like 14 questions that we wanted to ask him because he runs a pretty, large operation.
Yeah.
And I just went down, wrote the notes, and we got all of our questions answered. And then I said, what can I do to help you? And he said, come to the office and do a sales training. So it was fantastic.
That's
Good
awesome.
morning,
Good work, man.
Bobby.
Hey, Matt. Hey,
Hey,
Bobby.
guys. We can just wait a few minutes for more people to hop on, I think.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year.
Morning,
Hey, Tracy.
morning.
There's
Hello.
Lurchy.
Nice to meet you,
David,
Dirk.
who were you talking about just now? I came in at the
Kyle Whistle, I went down to his La Mesa office on Tuesday he had a team meeting.
Uh-huh.
And I just went up and I did the presentation that I did for you guys in why to buy now.
Oh, cool.
I think it's even more important for everybody to understand. I personally believe that we got a 2-month window, maybe 3-month window before our market is going to change again. I think we're going to see increasingly higher prices of properties in 3 months. I
Yeah.
think we're going to go back to multiple offers. I think I kind of think it's like a perfect storm for buyers right now to buy.
Yeah.
Because we know a few things. Interest rates are dropping like a rock, right? They've gone down faster than they ever have in the history of real estate or interest rates going down. We know that for sure, right? We know that there is a massive amount of pent-up demand.
Yep.
When we had Mitt Romney's son come into our office a month ago, he talked about the Utah and also the national statistics. And, some of the things that he said were like, I mean, the inventory shortage that the country has is amazing. And I did some research, and you know what city has the largest, that they need more homes than any other city in the country? San Diego.
Yeah, I believe it.
San Diego is shorter. And so I used that. I did a little research. I used that in the presentation.
Very
Nice.
cool. All right. Well, guys, we're going to do lead generation again this week. We have kind of a smaller panel because a bunch of people couldn't make it for various reasons. So we had a really good call last week. I think Dre probably will post the recording by now in the Tribe University. But we're going to continue on lead gen. And so David, why don't we start with you since you're right there? You're already talking. What are you doing as far as lead gen
Well,
right now?
we're just doing so much. So, and I'm sorry, I wasn't able to be on the call last Thursday because of something else. So I may be saying what other people do. To get listings, Real Marketing out of San Diego. I think that that's a phenomenal thing here. These are the 4-page brochures that we do into markets. I'm taking a listing this week off of that piece. It does take, it takes several months of sending it out. That's one of my favorite ones for as far as getting sellers. I believe that mailers are actually working better, handwritten notes that are very specific. So there's just a lot of things, and I didn't have the benefit of being on the last call, so I don't really know what other people talked about. But
we all just talked about different things that we're doing. Like I do those real marketing mailers. I also do handwritten postcards. Everybody does a lot of the same things, but whatever you're doing, just go through your list.
Yeah, okay. We do a 2-piece mailer or sometimes 3-piece mailer for expired listings because we're starting to see more of those. One is a listing of what we call just the facts, and you've seen that, but basically it talks all of the reasons why someone might use us, and then we have a trifold piece that is an 11 by 17. It's a number 16 envelope. And it is a very, very effective piece because I believe it's a piece that gets opened like 99% of the time because nobody's ever seen that size envelope. So that's one of the things that we do as far as getting sellers. Another thing for buyers that we're doing that is extremely helpful, when you meet a buyer and they're not quite ready to buy, we talk about our quiet sell and off market program. And why that's so effective is, and basically what we do is we just share with our buyers that, we have a quiet sell. So I'm going to role play a 30-second script with you. Okay. So Matt, are you familiar with and by the way, before I get started, you have to name it, right? So Matt, it's the Badiaga quiet sale and off market program, right? It's the Martins, or if you have a name of your company, it's the Middleton team quiet sale and off market program. You have to name it, right? So when you name it, it has more effect. And then, so I'm going to say, so Matt, are you familiar with our quiet sale and off market program?
I'm not, no.
No, you're kidding. Well, would it be okay if I share it with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So basically what this is, we don't just go on the multiple listing service to find properties. What we're going to do is we're going to find out exactly what your criteria is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go out and try to find your property for you. We're going to look at old expireds and new expireds, withdrawn properties, canceled properties. We're even going to look for sale by owners. We're going to talk in our sales meeting. I know that you're interested in the Jeremy Ranch area. There's a few other agents that do a fair amount of business in there. We're going to call those people on your behalf. And so essentially what we're going to do for you, Matt, is we're going to leave no stone uncovered to find the perfect property for you and your family. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that would be great.
And all we ask from you, Matt, is that when we find a property that you commit to using us to help you buy that. Is that good?
Yeah, that's fair. Sure.
Okay. So the reason, gang, that I want to share that with you is it is such a good way to get the maybe buyers in to do 2 things. I mean, every buyer wants the extra stuff. I've never had somebody go, no, I'm not interested in this, right? So that's one of the things. And the other thing is when you really, really think about it, you're showing that you're doing way more for your clients. I mean, we'll say, we'll write letters, we'll knock on doors. We will call into the Jeremy Ranch area for you to see if anybody wants to sell. And the best part is we're going to find, we might find some properties that nobody else is going to know about even before they get on the market, right? So when you get an internet lead, like, or you get somebody that is a buyer, but you've met them at an open house. And when people are at an open house, how often are they 100% committed to you? And the answer is almost never, right? And so by using this technique, you can get open house buyers to, literally you can get 90% of them or more to actually commit to using you. And if they say, so Matt, so what is an answer that sometimes they say, I don't really like to ask the question about I have an agent, because I just assume that I'm their agent. But if you said to me, so what do you say, Matt? Well, I kind of have an agent.
Yeah, we've kind of been working with somebody.
Oh, you have? Have you written any offers with them?
We have not yet, no.
Or yet have they actually been showing you property?
They've showed us a couple, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So see, if they haven't written an offer, they probably don't have buyer agency. But if they have shown it, and so this is a way for us to try to get those people to work with us. And and I say, so, and then I like to ask, so who's your agent? Who is the agent?
It's Bob Smith.
Bob Smith. So and I go, yeah, I know Bob. He's a good agent. But, why don't you ask him if he has the quiet sale and off market program like we do? And if he does, then you should use him. Right? It's kind of a takeaway. So those are just some of my favorite things to use kind of for buyers and sellers in a nutshell. But
are you doing one of the things I talked about last week, because I went first last week, was about not just about the types of, like, mailers or TV commercials or, internet ads or whatever, but the different USPs that I'm using. Are you using, that's really a USP with regard to the quiet sale program. Are you using any other USPs?
we have over the years, we did a whole marketing program under parkcityforless.com. And that was actually very successful, but it stopped working about, when the market kept going up. But there are definitely some of them out there.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
But anyway. All right, now I'm ready to write notes because I want to learn something. Go ahead. Who's next?
All right, I'm going to go to Bobby Martins because he's yawning. Bobby, you there?
Yeah, we gotta wake him up. We gotta wake him up.
You gotta mute yourself, Bobby. You gotta mute yourself. You were unmuted.
That was a good one, Bobby.
I was hoping
He's
nobody
working
caught
hard.
that. I was like, oh shoot! I'm like, I can't believe I just yawned, and I
Up all
was
night
not-
preparing for
I
the
have
call.
never seen you blush, ever.
Sorry, man. Sorry. That was good stuff. That was really good stuff. I'm yawning because I woke up at like 4 o'clock and then 4:30 and then 5. And so just trying to get my juices flowing here. So, all right. So hello, everybody. Happy New Year. So now that I'm a little embarrassed, let's go ahead and get into some content here. I'm going to come from a little different angle because I'm going to guess that most of the people on this call that are here today, that we're excited for the new year. We're all wanting deals today, not 9 months from now, because the cycle for lead generation, if you're sending out postcards, sending out different things, it's going to take a while to get that going. And I know a lot of us need deals today, not in the future. So I started thinking about, okay, well, what do I need to be doing right now? What is the number one thing that I could do to try and shake the tree and get the low-hanging fruit, the high probability deals that are out there, as opposed to maybe going after deals that are going to be like, for example, on internet leads, it's a conversion rate of about 3%. So you're going through all this work to get to 3%, where a lot of people, they forget to do the thing that they should be doing the most, which is the best leads are the people that you know. They already know you. They already like you. You don't have to sell them on using you because they've already used you in the past, maybe. So there's a lot of different things that you have to look at. And to me, that's where, if I am an agent right now struggling, if I'm a team leader struggling, those are the people I'm calling. I'm calling my best clients. I'm calling my favorite friends. I'm having conversation with the biggest investors in town. I'm going where the deals are. Okay. And instead of trying to sit there and just like have a wide spray of just all over the place, we got to get hyper focused. And I think that's going to be the game changer. So, most of us don't really have a lead generation problem. We have more of a lead conversion problem. And so, go back and start with your old leads, start with your people but, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys kind of an outline here. And when I'm done, I will throw this into a Google Doc. So you guys don't need to write this down or anything. It'll be very simple. So for those of you who don't have a CRM dialed in, this is definitely going to be good information for you. For those of you who do have a CRM dialed in, you are freaking lying. I guarantee you your shit is not as tight as you think it is. So I challenge everybody in 2024 to go ahead and spend the time to really clean up your database and use it as an excuse to reach out to people. If you have to, hey, Barbara, I'm calling you today because, I want to make sure I have all the right contact information. I don't see a birthday for you here. When is your birthday? That's a very easy, right? Very simple conversation. Now, why do you want your friends' birthdays? Every single one of you needs to start taking a birthday card, and sending a birthday card in the mail with some scratchers or a $5 gift card of some sort. You start doing that over and over and over and over for every single friend that you have, especially, your acquaintances, your different people at your church, all that kind of stuff. People are going to really start to understand that you're not just some regular person, just not some you're not just some realtor. There's a lot of realtors out there. So this is a program, the birthday card program. A lot of agents do this across the country. I don't do it. I'm going to try to institute it this year. But an agent on my team sent out 20 birthday cards, got 2 listings. So it works. So I would definitely say that you want to do that. Now, with your CRM, you want to make a list of you want to put them into buckets. Okay. So you got to make sure you've got your most influent people. So have something, a tag for your people that are all millionaires or billionaires. They should have their own tag. Your past clients, your friends, your families, your acquaintances, and then also business to business type of stuff. Your divorce attorneys, estate and sales attorneys, and things like that. So when you're going through your CRM, you're really making sure you got those tagged correctly. So that way, when you are doing events, you're doing different things, you can properly send stuff out. So for example, if you have a massive business opportunity and that millionaires should be looking at this opportunity, you can easily send that out to all of your affluent people. So that's why, tagging is so important in the database. Now, once you with your list of people, you're going to really break it down into 3 different types of people that you're going to call over the next, say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You got your renter, you got your homeowner, and you got your people that are investors. Okay. Now, this is going to get you more leads than anything that you can do. I promise you, if you go through your entire list of CRM, everybody in your phone. And if you don't know this, you can actually take everybody in your phone and it can come out, and that can be a CSV file. You can put that into your CRM. If you don't know how to do that, just Google it. If you don't know how to do something, Google it, ChatGPT it, do something. There's no reason to be ignorant anymore. We can all be very, very smart. The tools are there for us. We have to want to do it. You have to have the drive to do it. And that's where a lot of us lack the drive and the discipline to do it. And so it's really going to come down to the people who want to be successful this year. They will be successful. The posers will struggle, and the lazy people will struggle. So now let's go through a quick conversation on each of these particular calls, okay? Because I think a lot of us, especially the moderators here, or the panelists, I should say, a lot of us, we've done these calls a million times, and some of these newer agents on these calls, they don't know what to say. They feel a little uncomfortable. They feel like, I'm calling somebody, I'm bothering them, and I used to suffer from that. And so you are bothering them if you have no value, or you have nothing to add to the conversation. So what you have to figure out is, what can I add value to them today? What can I add value? And this is the beginning of the year is a great time to reach out to people, because you have that excuse. You have Happy New Year. You can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm updating my CRM. I wanted to make sure I have your birthday in here. I don't see that, or I don't have an email address for you. I don't have this for you, or whatever. Okay, so for your homeowners, people that already own a home, hey, this is your favorite realtor, Bobby. How's it going? Happy New Year. Hey, I just wanted to reach out to you real quick. I wanted to make sure that we've got you covered for all of your real estate needs in 2024. Are you planning on doing anything? Just ask them point blank. It's a little survey if you want. You can get creative. I mean, you don't have to get creative. You can just simply keep it simple, but you want to make the call because someone else is making that call. And if you're not making the call, and then someone else makes the call, well, guess what? You just lost the listing because you're not keeping in touch with people. People will work with you if you keep in touch with them. And I've lost listings myself, and it's the worst feeling on the planet to look someone up and say, oh my God, they sold their place. Because I usually, when I'm calling past clients, when I'm calling people, I've got the MLS up, I've got my CRM up, and I'm making sure, because nothing would be more embarrassing than actually calling somebody that you haven't talked to in 5 years and finding out, oh, you did sell your house. I need to know that going into that call. So I usually will, search the property to see, make sure that they're still the owner of the house. And, one of the questions that I always ask is, these are for homeowners again, is this house going to fit your needs for 5 years or more? Okay. Is this house going to fit your needs for 5 years or more? It's a really simple question, but what it does for you is it tells you a timeline of where your client's at. And we have to meet them where they're at. This is a needs-based market. Write that one down. Needs-based market. This is not about, I want to buy a house because I need a little bit more space. No, it's a needs base. You're buying it. You're buying a new house because you really need to, because the going from a 3 to a 6 sucks. Let's be honest. And so sellers don't want to sell in this market because they don't want to buy in this market, and that's the challenge. So all right, let's see if they say no to the opportunity. They say no. Let me see here. I lost my spot here. Okay, so if they say no to the question about if this is going to fit their needs or not, then that's obviously an opportunity. So you're going to keep asking questions. If they say yes, we love this house, we're going to be here forever. Great, I did my job. I'm so excited. I love that we found something for you that for the long haul. Now there's a few little hooks you can go after still. So don't just give up and say bye, okay, because that's a wasted call. Let me ask you, let me see here. Okay, so here's a few hooks if they want to stay in the house forever. Let me ask you something. Do you ever look at homes online? Oh yeah, I do all the time. Do you ever see one you like? Oh, all the time. There's a few that I wish that last year I could have bought. Oh, really? Have you ever heard of our trade-in program? And they'll say, no, what's that? Well, with the trade-in, you can look and buy before you sell, and then sell after you buy the house. So it takes away all the stress, because the reason why they're looking is because they're always looking for something a little bit better. They want something a little bit better. They want the view, or they want that. So, but they can't buy it because they know, well, shit, I can't buy it because everything's trapped up in this house. So that's why it's really important to have that conversation. You can get them pre-approved for the trade-in. 3 months later, they call you up and say, Bobby, I found this property. It's beautiful. It's right across the street. It's got the view. I want to buy. I want to do the trade-in. Now you just got 2 deals without even showing a stinking house because they walked into the open house. So think about how easy that can be. So that's just 1. 2, we're gonna steal Dave's quiet sale and off-market opportunities. Thank you, Dave. Just added that one to the list. Number 3, have you ever thought about taking equity out of your home and buying investment properties with it? Okay, so that's another one. And then, of course, referrals. That's always a big one. Do you happen to, or who do you know looking to make a move this year? Do you happen to know anybody? And then, of course, would I still be the agent you would refer that to if you did have somebody, or if you were doing a deal, would I still be the person you would work with? Solidifying that information is important, because we all get mad at people because they didn't use us, but did you solidify it? Did you actually call up and say, hey, am I going to be your agent? And if they say, if they say yes to that, then you send them something, okay? And you make sure on that card, I am so happy to be your freaking realtor, and you send them brownies, cookies, whatever, okay? That is going to solidify the relationship today. And then when they get those cookies and brownies or whatever you send them, a case of wine, whatever you want to do, when you get that when they get that from you, they're going to feel indebted to you. Then they're going to pick up the phone and they're going to go ahead and call you as soon as they hear of somebody. Now, when someone says, yes, I would absolutely refer business to you, you got to make sure you let them know how you need that business referred to you. Don't give them a card. Please don't give them a card, because no one will ever call me. Okay. So, and you got to catch them while they're already telling you, I love you and I want to work with you and I'll give you business. They're already telling you that. So you got to make sure you solidify everything. And then, oh shit, I just lost my train of thought on that, but it's okay. I'm going to keep going because I know I'm taking a little bit too much time.
But
all right,
I think you were going to say that for them to make the introduction instead of just giving the card.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So the way I like it is a quick text intro. Hey, Bobby, meet John. He's thinking about buying or selling a house. That's it. Yeah. Thank you for that. So now, for the last one I would say is, do you happen to know, hey, Randy, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm working with a lot of divorce attorneys and trust and estate attorneys lately. Do you happen to know anybody that you can maybe introduce me to? Okay, how easy was that, right? So there's 5 hooks there. That's if they want to stay in the home forever. If there's a situation where they might be moving, you're obviously asking questions. And the important part is documenting and keeping that information. Who is saying these things, and then following up with them, because the money is in the follow-up. We all know that. Now, for your renters, you're calling them up and you're simply saying, hey, did you ever buy a place, or are you still renting? And if they say, no, I never bought a place, then, hey, are you thinking about maybe doing something this year? If they say, no, I'm not, hey, what's holding you back? And then, whatever that is, if it's something you can overcome, great. If it's something you can't overcome, like they've got zero money, fantastic. Well, hey, I'm always here for you. If something ever changes, let me know. And oh, by the way, who do you know? Do you know any of the? It's like the same thing on the homeowner stuff. Now, the last one for the investors that and Randy, obviously, he's a great investor. He's probably might get some of these calls this quarter, I'm sure. Hey, Mr. Investor, I'm upping my efforts to find off-market investment properties in 2024. So I'm going to be coming in contact with a lot more opportunities. Are you looking to buy properties in 2024? And if so, what kind of properties are you looking to do? Okay. And so they're going to tell you their buy box. And now that you have their buy box, now you got to go out there and try and find some of these properties. You can do it a number of different ways with cash offer ads, all kinds of different things. So that's an easy thing. And then if they say, no, I'm not really buying any properties, great. Do you happen to know any high net worth individuals that you can introduce me to? So now with all 3 of these, the biggest thing is going to be your follow-up. It's not the first call is great. It makes us feel warm and fuzzy. I got a lead. It's really it's the work that a lot of us drop off of. Okay, we get excited about that first thing, that first step. I got this lead. Well, now what do you do with it? And I think what's made me successful over the years is looking at all my leads and then categorizing them and making sure that I'm spending 90% of my time on my hottest leads and just kind of touching everybody else, letting them know I'm here for them, and just waiting until they're ready instead of me pushing them. Sometimes you have to bring properties to people, and that's great, especially for the people that are motivated. But sometimes you just have to wait until they're ready. So anyways, that's it for me today. I appreciate all of your time and hope that was helpful.
That's awesome, Bobby. I think that's a really good point.
Man, that was great.
We all forget to go after the low-hanging fruit, which is all our past clients. By the way, one thing I learned from Aaron Taylor in Vegas is a program called Fellow, which I started using in November. Basically what it does is you put your whole database into it. It's FELLO. You download your database into it, which they help you do. And then it reaches out to all of your past clients twice a month. They can check what their home is worth. They can see what homes around them have sold for, et cetera. So it's a great way to stay in touch with people twice a month, which is
so we actually, it's funny that you bring that up because I just got an email from them this morning saying that they finally got us all set up. So we are good to go. We just signed up with them right before the holiday, and so we're on the Fellow bandwagon. Aaron told me all about it.
Is it better than HomeBot?
Yeah, what's the difference is HomeBot is they're branding HomeBot. This is coming from you, so it looks like it's all coming from you, from your website, from you yourself. So you're getting the branding from it, and they manage the whole thing. And there's a bunch of lead gen tools, and apparently it's bringing in some deals. So yeah, I'll give you an update in 60 days.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor in Vegas raves about it. So
What's the website, Matt, what's the website?
It's HiFellow.
FELL. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, HIFELLO.com. Sorry, I got a dog barking here. Okay, that's awesome, Bobby. Thank you.
Hey, Matt, I forgot to tell everybody the one thing that I wrote down. Anybody want to do 2 deals this month? It's super simple. I forgot this one. I mean, I wrote it down in my notes to share, and then I forgot. So there was a study that was done. 81% of the people that bought a home during COVID are unhappy with their purchase. And so when I found that out, we got all of our agents calling everybody, because if somebody bought a house 2 years ago, we're not calling them up saying, do you want to sell your house? But we should be. So you call them up, Matt, hey, how's it going? How do you like your house? And 4 out of 5 times they're going to say, well, I don't like this. It's too big. It's too small. It's too old. It's not the neighborhood I want. I really wish it had an extra office where whatever, right? And then you say, well, then this might be a time that, we should sit down and see if we can help you find that right property. So, and then not only do you get them to sell, but you're going to get another buyer. So I just wanted to mention that we're getting 1 or 2 of those a week by having our agents and me calling our past clients. So thanks, everybody.
Great statistic. Did you say 81%?
81%.
Wow.
Yeah, because why? I mean, there were 20 offers, there were 10 offers. They missed out on 4 properties, and then the 5th one finally comes up, right?
Yeah, a lot of settling. There's a lot of
buying
settling
anything
happening
because they think they better buy something or they're never going to. And it's not something that we would intuitively think, but oh my goodness, it's just do it.
No.
All right, we're going to go to Tracy Fellows.
They're asking about the scripts.
To the panel. What's that, Randy?
No, they're asking about Bobby's scripts. Are you putting them anywhere? I don't know what.
Yeah, I'll be dropping it in, but you guys are just gonna have to wait a few minutes. I got to clean it up. Give me 1 second. I just put this together this morning. This is gonna be our plan for the next few weeks for my team, just kind of doing these calls. So
I love it. Thanks,
All
Bobby.
right.
It's pretty good
All right, Tracy.
for lack of sleep. Good job.
Yeah. Tracy, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I am fantastic. Thursday is one of my favorite days of the week because of this masterclass. I've invited 3 people who are on the call this morning to show them what value we bring as a part of just that whole EXP collaboration, which is unique and has us stand out from the rest. So last week, I focused on something I still believe in that I will say again. You have to follow up, follow through, follow back. Because if you don't, someone else will, especially with all this great information that everyone's giving this morning. I wanted to say that through a conversation with Mitch that I had, I instilled being committed to texting my people in my sphere who I don't have their emails for. And of course, that's always, I feel comfortable saying Happy New Year until the end of the month. And so it's Happy New Year. So glad to stay in touch. I want to add you to my wealth building newsletter that I send out once a month. I find out if I give it a good title, creating wealth for my clients, they're very interested. Other than that, they think it's a regular newsletter with recipes and other things that they're used to getting. But this will include a market update, for the area, and then interesting articles that, again, as Bobby talked about, that segment to each of my clientele spheres, those who are high net worth that are looking for particular items, those that are renters, and those that are my investors. So those buckets really still come into play. And for example, I was at a gala late last year and met a lot of very high profile actors that I've connected with very well. I've been reaching out to them and they've been sharing their emails. Tracy, just make sure that it stays between us. Don't send it to anyone else. And we'd love to get your information, because you'd be surprised at the people who we see on television or that we interact with, that we know just from certain places, and they haven't been able to invest. And they don't have anyone coming to them saying, let me help you put a blueprint together. So I would say reach out to folks, get their emails. As I think someone else talked about, I think it was David said, you've got to name it something unique to you, and not something that, it's the regular newsletter going out. It's got to bring some value. Mm-hmm. I also came up with an idea while someone was just talking. I think it was Bobby who talked about reaching out to your past clients. I was thinking about the weather that we're having right here now in Los Angeles with the high winds and the water. This is a good time just to remind them that you are their resource. Do you need anything right now? Is everything under control at the house? Did a shingle fly off? Does a tree need to come down? Whatever, and see if there's some way that you can add value, and then ask those other questions as well. So we always want to remember that we are that resource. So I would just say right now that I'm really reaching out via text message, gathering those emails, and getting ready to send out that January newsletter, and then doing it on a consistent basis. I'm just excited to hear about Fellow right now, because I know HomeBot has been like the buzzword. And so I'm really looking forward to looking into that. And Randy, I would love to hear more about at some point why it's a good time to buy and how we can start making videos. I also want to put out there, what is your secret sauce? What makes you unique and special to reach your clientele? I tend to do really good with videos. And so I'll give you a resource called Big View, BIGVU, where if you're someone who feels like you have to keep repeating that same message 8 times before you get it right, this actually has a scrolling script for you to read off of, and that you can do it, pace it yourself if you want it to go slower or to go faster. And I just nailed a video in 2 takes. And really only because my dish rag was in the way of the first one. But when you can read it and express yourself the way you want to, makes it so much easier. So my message is just do it. There's so much information that we've already gotten already. And so just pick one or two and just get started. So I'm just grateful for all the information so far. And I just say reach out, text, get those email addresses, and be consistent with a newsletter or something to be in front of them so that you stay top of mind.
Yeah, it's definitely consistency is so key. So Big View is like a teleprompter app, basically. Yeah. Okay, cool. I use one called Teleprompter, but same difference.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, Big View's easy. Big View's super easy.
And even
All
I
right.
can, and I have trouble, and it's really easy to edit. And I'm just loving it because it's just good. There's just no excuses. Bobby, you said it. We have tools. We have ways of Googling to find out how to do something. So you just have to be that agent that outworks everybody else.
Mhm. Yep. That's awesome. Thank you, Tracy. By the way, who did not go last week? Lurchy, did you go last week? A little bit. Karina, did you go last week? You
I
did?
wasn't here. I wasn't here.
Randy. Oh, then Randy's the man. Go for it, Randy.
All right, cool. Yeah, I haven't been here in a while between being sick and traveling. So I apologize. I miss you guys. So it's good to be back. And yeah, I love just the way David approaches it with naming everything. I took some good notes, and I'm gonna be, because I talk about a lot of the things that David talks about, but I don't have a name for the program. So now I have a name for a program. So thank you. And I will just kind of piggyback a little bit of what David was saying, because I work with a lot of investors, as most of you know, especially the panelists and the agents that have been attending these for a while. So I leverage that. I leverage that very similar fashion that David mentioned. When I meet buyers anywhere, right? Doesn't matter if they're my friends that are thinking about buying, or if it's someone an open house, and they're a stranger, right? But I know they're thinking about buying. I will always mention the fact that, hey, my background is from being an investor, and here's what I've done. So I share a little bit about me, but then I say, look, I tie it back to them. And here's why I'm sharing this with you, is because of my relationships with investors. One of the things that's unique about myself and my team is that anytime we work with any clients, we don't just look on the MLS, which is similar to what David is saying, but I kind of zoom in a bit and focus in on that investor client avatar. And I say, look, I have a lot of relationships, right, with investors because of my background and my network. So we always check with them if they have any properties that they're either passing on, that they may be put under contract, but the numbers just don't make sense for them and they're going to pass on it. So it's under contract, right? So it's technically off market. Or maybe it's a property that they ended up buying and they're renovating it, right? And might be the perfect fit for what you're looking for, right? So we can approach them and see what they're working on, and that's off market unless you know them. Many realtors don't actually network with investors, and I'm very upfront about that, right? I don't necessarily want to put down agents. I just say, look, I just know that that's not what they focus on. That is my background, and this is why I have that network, right? But I also don't overpromise it, right? That's one thing you just don't want to do, right? Because I'm also pretty real in terms of saying, like, look, most of the properties you're going to go look at are going to be off the MLS, but I'm just telling you that this is just another place I look at, right, within my network. And you never know, because we've done it where we found the perfect match for a buyer client and one of our investor clients, and the property sold and no one knew about it. The sale was completely off market, right? So if it happens, that's an amazing feeling for all sides, both parties, right? Because you have no competition. But it doesn't, it's not the primary way that we're going to look at homes, right? So I want to be real, because I don't want to oversell that, right? Because if I do, then they're going to keep asking me, well, where are all these off-market properties that you told me about, right? That we're not looking at. So that's kind of how I'm leveraging that. But I love what David added is just, calling expires, calling canceled. Like that's a great way of incorporating that into my script, which I now will. So thank you, David, for that. And then piggybacking then of what I just said, my sphere is investors. So I just stay in front of my investor clients. I don't do anything new, right? I stay in front of them. And when I do, I get repeat business. And I literally just got a text, end of December that one of my clients locked up a property off market in Rancho Bernardo. And he's like, hey, Randy, I'm ready to renovate this property. And we want to, have you guys list it. It's a repeat investor client, right? I stay in front of them though, right? So now we're going to be listing his property in about, I think, 2 weeks, right? So that's my sphere. And the reason I focus on that sphere is because I want repeat business, right? I don't enjoy chasing a new client every time, right? That's just my way of doing it, right? So if you are interested in creating more of that repeat business model, investors could be a great group of people to focus on, right? So how do you find them? Not that difficult. You go to RIA meetings, go to, look up, type in REIA, RIA, or just simply type in real estate meetups. And you're going to get a bunch too many that you can even, you can't attend all of them, right? In most of the bigger cities. So look them up, go to a couple, see which one you like the most, and then start showing up on a monthly basis. So you start being being seen, right? And start connecting with the movers and shakers and see kind of, using what Bobby is saying, hey, what's your appetite? What are you looking for, right? If you were to, are you rehabbing? Are you wholesaling? Are you buying and holding? What are you doing, right? And then start building those buckets, right? Of what are these people are looking for? They go to those different buckets. And I can tell you the ones that I like to focus a lot of my extra energy on are the ones that are actually doing direct mail to sellers saying, hey, we buy houses cash, sell your home in 7 days. If they're actually spending their money and they're sending that mailer every single month and they have a budget directly to sellers, those are the ones I'm going to lean into more. And here's why. Because I know from experience, being an investor myself for many years, is that out of the 10 phone calls they might receive in a month from that campaign, one of them they might buy. The other 9 usually are listing opportunities. So if I build a relationship with that type of an investor and I teach them the script correctly on how to refer me, and I like what Bobby said, in my script, when I tell them how to refer me, I tell them, don't give them my information because that seller will never call me. So I literally tell them, like, look, if you see that it doesn't fit into your cash purchase program buy box, then start taking the conversation into the fact that, hey, this could be a retail type of a sale. I think you're better off actually putting this house on a market with a really, really good realtor, Mr. Seller. It doesn't look like this is the best situation for us to buy your house cash. I was like, and I have a great agent for you. Randy, he sells all my properties in San Diego County. They're awesome, his team. I really, really would, recommend that you strongly, strongly consider talking to a realtor. And if you would like to, like, he could be your guy. And can I, I'm actually going to meet with Randy later this afternoon. Is it all right if I just share your information with him? That's it. That's the script, right? And in 50% of the chance that the seller is going to say yes if they talk me up very well in that conversation, right? And that's all I need. And the moment they say that, then they make the introduction to me about, and even better if they allow the introduction, like Bobby said. So they first try to ask, can they introduce me? If they feel awkward doing that, then I just say, look, Randy will reach out to you. And then guess what? We reach out. Unlike them, they will never reach out if they just leave my info with them. So we were at a listing appointment Christmas Eve from this exact situation. It was an investor friend of mine who went to a opportunity that they thought they could sell their house cash. Did not work out. I prepped them before that appointment. They referred us. We had a listing appointment on Christmas Eve. So we might be getting that listing coming up in a couple of weeks. So that's where that's my lane, right? So if you ever want to learn those type of strategies, that's kind of where that's where I play. I play in that sandbox. So those will be my strategies. And last thing I will say, if you are getting, if you have any connections with referral sources, right? It could be Zillow, it could be Realtor.com, it could be any of the ones that you know, you were getting referrals and all of a sudden over the last few months, the pipeline dried up, right? And I've seen it because I'm part of several referral sources. That pipeline dried up, right? However, stay in touch with your referral source manager, whoever that is, whoever has been in touch with you when you were getting those opportunities. Make sure you check in with them too, right? Because I know for a fact I'm checking in with them, and I was checking in with them in December, and I was like, hey, how are things going? By the way, happy holidays. Just staying in front of them. And literally, I know the new year, things happen. People want to start making moves. I got 3 buyer referrals from one of those referral sources within the first 7 days of this new year, right? So just check in with those referral sources. Make sure A, they didn't forget about you, and 2, you know, so they see that you're on top of it, right? That you're actually following up with them. If you're doing that with them, what do you think they're going to think about how good you are with the clients they send you? I'll stop there.
Yeah, that's really good. Thanks, Randy. Hey, Randy, do you do any, since we're on that topic, do you do any like, I don't know, email campaigns or anything like that to keep in with all these investors, or do you just call them on the phone, or do you have a newsletter, or what do you do? Good
question. So I do a quarterly, like a market update that I actually send to both my retail past clients and Sphere, and to my investor network. But I also do a monthly mastermind with my investors in Southern California, and that's actually exclusive. I make it exclusive on purpose so I can control the environment as the realtor, right? So that's how I do it. But what I did, you know, little secret for you guys, I'm revealing everything. What I did is I built strategic relationships with education companies, right? So like Fortune Builders, I've been partnering with them for many, many years. And they teach investors how to flip homes. So I built a relationship with those students over the years, but because the only way I was in front of those students, because my relationship with Fortune Builders. Now I'm building a strategic relationship with another education company called Kingdom 320. So they're putting me in front of their students in Southern California, and I'm helping them, right? So that's a little shortcut, right? If you don't want to go to RIA meetings every single month and building a relationship one at a time, another way you can do is find out who is the big educators in your local area, build a relationship with them, because they probably have a lot of students locally that they're teaching. And if you could be their go-to realtor, because they all need one, all investors of all walks of life, new experience. One thing we all teach investors when they get started, you need a great realtor partner, period. What if it's that? What if that's you? So that's another secret.
Good advice. Guys, we have a few minutes left.
Amen.
Lurchy, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I want to piggyback on a couple of things real quick. Have you ever seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yes.
The market don't suck, you suck. First place is Cadillac. Second
Your
place-
leads suck.
That's right. The second place is Steak Knives. Third is your fire.
Steak Knives.
I watched
Yeah.
that. I was taught that movie the first 3 weeks in the business. So our challenge is exactly what Bobby had said about the database. Last week, I took in a whole bunch of notes, and I went back to that, especially what Tracy was saying in texting your clients if you don't have their emails. I started noticing, cleaning up our database, that I had somebody working on it that didn't do what they were supposed to do. Mistakes, because we're working on our top 300 and 500 clients. Because what we're doing is we're doing the mailers that the guys were saying. We use labels. We use the scratch off cards when we send them things. But what I realized is there are people in my database. I got 7,200 people, and there's like 2,000 without phone numbers. And I'm like, where did these people come from? What's going on? So we started to do something simple, exactly what Tracy was doing with the Texas. We went back and started doing an email that literally we started sending 3 days ago. And I've already had 5 people. We've only sent maybe 50 out. We're trying to do so many a day. All it was is something easy. Not sure how we connected. You're in my database. So I thought I would reach out to you. Are you looking for any help in real estate next 3 to 6 months? And the tagline up top is not sure how. They're all getting open. I've had everybody reply saying, oh, this is how we met. No, I don't need anything. But 3 people raised their hands so far and said, by the way, do you deal with commercial? Or by the way, can you help me with this? I never would have done that if I wasn't cleaning up the database that Bobby said we all have that we don't work and reversing it instead of the phone numbers. I didn't have the phone numbers. So we just went to the emails. And if they don't respond, guess what? They're going to get deleted because we're tagging them a different way. So we're cleaning up, but we're also prospecting on people that we've reached out to. I just wanted to add that to piggyback on.
Please
you
tell
said,
me you're
Tracy.
not going to delete them though, right? Please, you're
No,
going to
they're just
put them
gonna
in
go
a
in a
different
pile over here.
put them in a pond, put them in a different pond. These are the, you know, don't respond pond or whatever.
Exactly.
But I would
They have
definitely
the email. They just
keep
get
them in
out of the
there.
good. They get out of the good
Yep.
stuff. Agreed.
Yep.
And thank you last week because, by the way, we all take notes here. The question is, are you going to implement it? Our drawers are rich with ideas.
Yeah.
Are we implementing it? And
Yeah.
that's an example of what you guys said last week. I did this week, and it's already working.
Craig,
thank
would
you.
you put that text in the chat that you just send out to people? Can you just copy and put it in real quick?
And then, yeah, Karina, do you want to add anything? I know you went for a while last week, but
That's
go
okay.
ahead.
One quick thing with the texting on the cell phones that I do all the time, I've done it for years, is a quick 7 to 10 second video. You just hold your phone in front of your face. The same thing that Craig's talked about and Tracy talked about, going back to your contacts, but you will have an even bigger open rate if you did the same exact verbiage that Craig did in his email. I'm not sure how we met, but you're in my database or you're in my phone. They will respond. I pick up at least 15 to 20 transactions a year just sending either past clients or random people in my phone messages, and they respond back. And the next thing you know, it's a really quick, they will respond faster to a text message. They'll respond to a video, and it works great.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Well, listen, we are literally out of time. We'll be doing this every Thursday. If you have any agents that you know that think could benefit from this mastermind, which is pretty much everybody, be sure to send them a link and invite them, because the more the merrier. The bottom line is there is business out there, and we all just have to be, everything works and nothing doesn't. And you just have to be, the pie might be a little smaller because fewer people are listing their homes these days, but it just means you have to be more aggressive and more diligent and more consistent about going after the business. So everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you here next Thursday. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.